Good morning. Craig Howard here. Happy to be with you again this morning. I was reading something that I really didn't realize was the case. Um, it kind of blew my mind, but do you realize that cell phones have now been in existence for 50 years as of April 3rd? April 3rd, the first cell phone was developed and a call was made. It was very different than the cell phones that we have today. It didn't look anything like this. Instead, it was lovingly called the brick, and it weighed 2.5 pounds. It took approximately 10 hours to fully charge, and even when fully charged, the charge lasted for only about a 35-minute conversation, and then it would go dead and have to be charged for another 10 hours. It cost roughly, the earliest cell phones cost roughly about $3,500. By today's price, that would be about $10,600. Um, but it's estimated that in the decades that have followed, by 2025, there'll be something like 18 billion devices on the planet, more devices than there are people. 50 years of cell phones. Hard to believe that, since I can remember when cell phones didn't even exist. That's kind of disturbing. But the initial phone call that was made on a cell phone was made by the inventor, who was from Motorola, calling AT&T, who was also working on the cell phone. And he called the lead inventor over at AT&T, and he said, "I'm calling you on a real cell phone." And it was just dead silence. In fact, the AT&T computer recorded that no conversation ever existed. But it's interesting how we've worked so hard to stay in communication with one another, and we forget that for over 2,000 years we've had communication with the Father through Jesus Christ. Through Christ's death and resurrection, it opened the way that we could have immediate conversation with God any time of the day or night, anytime we wanted. That door was open and we could come into His presence in prayer. That's a very special thing. As much as we value communication, we certainly ought to value the opportunity to be in that kind of communication with God. Well, it's easy to forget how precious that is. The Bible says over in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 12, it says, in Him and through faith in Him, we may approach God with freedom and confidence. Through our relationship with Jesus Christ, we can approach God with freedom and confidence. Let me ask you a question. How much do you avail yourself of that opportunity? How much do you say, "Hey, I have this opportunity to come before Christ, to come before God in prayer, and I don't have to go through some attorney. I don't have to go through some switchboard. I don't have to go through some cell phone tower. He's available at all times, and I am going to make use of that opportunity." I hope you are a person of prayer and make every effort to use that opportunity every chance you get, because it's one of the most precious gifts that you've ever been given. I love it when my daughter calls and lets me talk to my grandson on FaceTime. I love to just be able to be in contact with them. I love talking to my son and my daughter and my daughter-in-law and my son-in-law, my wife. I love being able to pick up the phone and talk to my mother, my brother, who just got a new cell phone recently, my brother Mark. He loves talking on the cell phone. It's a great thing, but it's even greater to know that I can talk to God anytime I want to. I hope you take advantage of that. Well, this is Craig Howard, pastor of the Break Covenant Brethren Church. Hope you have a great day today, and Lord willing, I guess I will see you next time around. Next time it's my turn. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. You too, Aunt Judy. God bless.